Hi, this is Ellie with Moonlight Tarot 20. We're using the Moonology Manifestation Oracle cards today, and I've pulled a reading for us. We've got here first quarter moon in Aries, step into your power, reveal what needs to be seen, find a balance, and go deeper. Now, when I see that step into your power, that to me always means do in your life what you feel is right and stop listening to other people and other people's advice. That to me means looking at where you want your life to go and to actually take those steps to make it happen. Stepping into your power means realizing that, and I just said that in the tarot reading I recorded just now, you are the one who decides which route your life is going to go, where you want your life to go. When things are happening in your life that you're not happy with, the choice is yours to make changes. If you're keeping yourself stuck somewhere where you are not happy, that is your choice, and you cannot blame other people for it. Anything you want to happen in your life, you are the only one who can make it happen. So to take power, step into your power, means taking complete responsibility for yourself, for your actions, for your decisions, for everything that is going on in your life. Take complete 100% responsibility and act accordingly. Reveal what needs to be seen. To me means that you need to be radically honest with everything that's going on around you, within you. If there are things that the energies are bringing up for you, things from the past, things that you haven't dealt with. A lot of times, especially if we've had trauma in the past, if there have been things that you have done that you are not very proud of, a lot of times we tend to bury these things. We don't want to look at those things. We don't want to feel how that makes us feel, and we don't want to think about you kind of don't want to judge yourself for it, right? If you've done something wrong, you don't want to look at yourself in a negative light, right? So we kind of tend to avoid looking at those tough things. But I feel like you're being asked to be very, very honest with yourself and to look at all those aspects of yourself, because one of the most important things in life is to have self-awareness, to have that trust in yourself, and to have that respect for yourself. And how can you have respect for yourself when there are aspects of yourself that you are not willing to look at? You need to look at yourself through the eyes of spirit, and you need to remember that you are a divine soul, a beautiful soul of love and light, who is having a human experience in this body on this planet at this time. And that everything that has happened to you up to this point has been divinely designed. That was part of the blueprint that you created before you incarnated on this planet. You created a blueprint for yourself of how you wanted this life to look, of who was going to be in this life, who was going to shape you into the person you are today. The experiences, the ups and downs of life, the traumas, the pain, the hurt, the joys, everything. You've written all that into that blueprint, and you were given free will in this lifetime to deal with all these things and in order for your soul to grow, right? This is like earth school. This is soul school. Um, so don't look, um, don't be too self-critical. And I'm not saying don't take responsibility for your actions. You need to take absolute 100% responsibility for your actions. But don't be too critical and don't judge yourself too harshly, because we are not born with all, we have the veil placed on us before we're born, the veil that keeps us from seeing the divine being we are, and that keeps us from remembering everything from the other side and the power we actually wield, right? So that is done intentionally, because otherwise your soul would not experience any growth here. So don't judge yourself too harshly. Think about everything you've been through in your life and see how it has shaped the person you have become. Definitely, if there are things that are coming up for you from the past that up until this point you weren't willing to look at, maybe it's time to look at them. Because whatever you bury beneath, like in your subconscious, whatever you bury, the things you don't want to deal with, they're always going to come up. They're always going to come up until you're actually willing to work through them, to see them, to work through them, to release them. And oftentimes there are things that you thought you had already worked through and they're still coming up. And the thing is that a lot of these things come in layers. They're energetic layers, and you might not have worked through all the energetic layers yet. Find a balance. That's another tough one, because for me, finding balance does not only mean balance in your everyday life. And that's very important, to find a balance between work, family life, fun, hobbies, that kind of thing. Like to find a good work-life balance, for instance, right? To find a balance where you're not going to burn yourself out by working too much, and even you can even burn yourself out, for instance, someone who goes gambling, right? Um, it's just a negative way to burn yourself out. But for those of us who are empathic, it's very easy for us to burn out, because wherever we go, we are absorbing everybody's energies, and we are helping transmute all those negative energies the people around us carry with them. And that's why a lot of people, they kind of like our energy. They like being around us because they can feel that we are helping them. We're basically energetically helping them get through their traumas and through their hang-ups and everything that's negative in their life at this time. At the same token, a lot of people are kind of turned off by our higher vibrations, because yes, at first they're attracted to them, but I feel like a lot of times, because they deep down their subconsciously they know that they also have the capacity to run at at higher frequencies, but they have to do some work on themselves, and they don't want to do that work on themselves because it requires looking deeply at themselves, at their past traumas and their past actions and all the things that they're doing at this time that they might be consciously doing that's really not good for them, such as keeping themselves stuck in bad relationships and whatever, right? Some people just don't want to make any changes in their life. Change is scary, change is frightening, and they don't like to be around people that remind them and kind of energetically push them to do those changes in their life. So to find a balance, to me also, I feel like keeping an energetic balance, knowing when you are at the point where you need to withdraw from people, you need to have time to yourself so you can build that energy up again. I mean, there are people, it's funny because there are those people that get energized when they are in public, when they are around a lot of people, and that is because they're the ones that steal everybody's energies. The ones who are out in public among many people who get depleted are the ones that are getting sucked dry by the other people, right? The other people are absorbing their energies, or you are absorbing the negative energies of those people. You're taking all that home with you. And you need to be able to find that balance where you know when to say, this is enough, and I need some time to get rid of all this negative energy. Energetic hygiene, very, very important. Definitely take your cleansing salt baths, your showers. You should always shower and wash your clothes after you're out in public because you're taking all that energy on. Your clothes can take all that energy on. Carry your gemstones with you when you're out. Cleanse those. And maybe sage yourself and sage the house more often, right? Smudging. Lots of ways to actually cleanse your energy, but that should be a daily routine. Now at the bottom of the deck, we have Go Deeper. And again, I feel like this is asking you to really take a good look at yourself. Take a look at what's happening around you in your life. And really feel what it is that you want for yourself. Know what it is that you want for yourself. Know what you want to feel. Know how you want to feel and concentrate on that. I feel like that's kind of like the manifestation part of everything is to put yourself into the feeling of how you want to feel every day. You want to feel happy and joyful and full of energy and vibrant. Then how does that feel, right? Because you can think of that, and I'm sure you felt that at some point in your life, and you must remember what that felt like. So think of how you felt and try to embody that. You have to embody that which you want to attract to you. So go deeper. It just to me means you need to sit more with yourself. You need to leave the distractions behind, put your phone aside for a while, stop watching the news, maybe have some time away from the people around you, just to sit by yourself and to reflect, maybe journal. I find journaling very, very helpful. Even if you just start out with, what am I grateful for every day? Write down 5, 6 things that you're grateful for every day, because that energy of gratitude really draws in more things, more abundance, more love, more light. And then write down everything you're feeling every day, especially if you're an empath. We take on a lot of the collective emotion that's out there. If there's a lot of anger out there, we take that on. I find when I'm out there driving, I'm always enraged, and I know that it's not coming from me because I can be in a very peaceful state of mind when I leave the house, and then as soon as I get out on the highway, I'm all of a sudden enraged and angry, and it's just the collective energies of the people around, right? Or if you go to work and there's someone who's in a bad mood, you will pick that up. So sit by yourself and delve into what you're feeling. What are your feelings? Journal and delve into your dreams. Maybe even keep a dream journal. Any particular dream that you still remember when you wake up, write it down, even if it seems very silly, because a lot of times, there are messages from spirit in there. So definitely sit with yourself and get to know yourself a little better. I find that a lot of people, they're almost afraid to get to know themselves. They're afraid to sit by themselves. Feel they feel that they need to be around other people, and other people need to validate them, right? They feel that the only way they're going to know that they're worthy of love and adoration is when other people are around them, and they're expecting other people to always validate that back to them. But we have to learn to do that for ourselves. We have to learn to validate ourselves. We have to learn to love ourselves. We have to learn to accept ourselves. So that's what I got for you today, guys. That was really deep. Love and light. We'll talk again soon.